Hey there, I wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of my podcast planner in Airtable. Now, heavy caveat here, I use the one in Airtable, but there is also a Notion version and a Google Sheets version. The Google Sheets version is very straightforward, as is the Notion one. Shout out to Renee, my friend Renee, for creating the Notion version of it. So let me share my screen here. You don't really need to see my face at all for this, but I'll bring it in from time to time. Okay, so this is the podcast planner. I'll link this along with the video, but if you're watching this, you likely already have access to it. And if you want to make your own copy in Airtable, you're going to click this down arrow and then the ... and click duplicate base. You can name it. You can choose to duplicate the records and comments if you want. And then you can also change the base the workspace that it appears in. So some of the features I'm going to talk about are paid features of Airtable, because I do pay for it, but for the most part, this is totally free to use. So what we're looking at here is the all fields view, right? I'm not hiding any of the fields. I am filtering by aired. So if I get rid of that, we'll see a couple more, but I like to filter by aired so that I'm only seeing episodes that haven't gone live yet. The columns here are episode. This is episode number. As you add more in Airtable, you can highlight two cells, like two enumerated cells, and then drag this little square to copy them, and Airtable will properly assume that you want to create a sequential list like that. Guest name, topic, and record date. These are date fields, but guest name, topic, and record date are all filled in for me by my Calendly Zapier automation. You can just fill this in yourself if you'd like. Notes. Notes is a long text format. This is for me to put notes in. I've enabled rich text here. So like theoretically, I use Notion for the show notes, but theoretically I could use this. And then you can use this little icon to format. It also supports Markdown. If that's your thing, it is my thing. So that's the notes area. And then we have the record date and the live date. I have some views that show things based on record date and live date. Then we have sponsors. These are dynamic fields. They're related to the records here in the sponsor table that I'll show you in a minute. Then I have season, which I usually group by season, but if you don't do seasons, you can ignore this. I have that aired field, and then I have the status. So the status is going to be either need to write, find guest, asked, scheduled, recorded, out for edit, out for transcript, artwork created, add to WordPress, added to WordPress, or published. Various statuses for me and my team to work with. I have an editor, I have a transcriber, and I have a VA. I don't use all of these all of the time, but this really helps, especially because I do have a Kanban view based on status. And again, you can customize these to fit your workflow. And then photo, this is photo for the guest, and create cover, which used to kick off an automation for Design Pickle, which is a graphics creation service. Now my VA does that. So, and then last modified. So that is the main table here. I also have sponsors. So again, this is directly related to the sponsors that show up here. So when you can add one, or you can select from a field, and then you can get a list of all your sponsors. I have a few enumerating fields so I can see, how many pre-rolls, how many mid-rolls, how many spots they've purchased, kind of figure out their lifetime value, if you will. I have a potential sponsors table for people who I'm thinking about or who I've reached out to. This kind of serves as a CRM. And then I have a potential guests table. So this has a form associated with it. So when people want to come on my show, if they try to pitch me, I send them to my form, which I'll show you how I'm actually using it in a minute. But they fill this out, and then it gets added to both Grid and Kanban view, and then I can either reject or accept them. I have automation, like automatic emails, kicked off based on if they are accepted or rejected. So, and these are here, they're off for the shared one. You can turn them on if you want. Automation is one of those things that might cost money in Airtable. But this makes it really easy for me to keep track of everybody who's applied. And then I get to send like a canned email to anybody who pitches me for their show, right? Because usually you get like a generic pitch, and I want to know that they've at least checked out my show. So that's all 4 tables here. I have like schedule basics, so I can get a quick view of like who's going live when and for what season and where that episode's at. I have the Kanban view I mentioned before. I have a Design Pickle only view, so I could see the information that would get sent to Design Pickle. So now this goes to my VA. So I upload a photo of the guest, and I click Create Cover, and my VA gets an email saying, hey, can you create a cover using the Canva template we have, and then this information in the table. So that's what this is for. Your mileage may vary there if you don't have a VA, or if you have a different way of creating graphics, right? You can, again, modify and use as needed. And then I have a calendar view of based on the go live date. So I can see, how many episodes I have scheduled out and things like that. Calendar view might be another one of those things that is money. So that's the shared podcast planner. Here's how I'm using it for my show. You can see I have a few more views and things here, and this is real data. Like, for example, I have color coding based on the sponsor count. So here's the sponsor count. If it's 3, that means an episode is maxed out, so it's green. That way I can quickly look and see when my next available sponsorable episode is. And you can see that at the time of this recording, I am booked through April. I'm also hiding a bunch of stuff, filtering by aired, grouping by season. So I am only seeing the latest season here. And again, I'm only seeing the latest season here because I'm in between seasons as I record this, and I'm hiding any episodes that have aired already. And then I have schedule basics. I also have a member view. This is a view of all the upcoming episodes sorted by record date, because my members can submit questions to guests before I record. And then I have the recording schedule here too. So, and you can see this is a pretty neat one because I can look at the calendar, see when I'm recording, and then it's also color coded by status. So Ame's episode is live, and then Will's episode is recorded, not edited though. And then everybody else is scheduled. So this is a really nice way for me to say, oh man, my yearly theme episode is due in 2 weeks and I haven't written it yet. Or like, oh, I'm recording with Kronda, but Kronda's not coming out for a few weeks or whatever. So it's a nice way for me to get a good look at everything. And then I also have this general like upcoming guests. I think I made this for a screenshot, to be honest, because this is everybody. This is not sorted by, this is not filtered by upcoming guests. So this is probably just some view I made for some screenshots. And then I don't know what this is. I think I just copied something here, but this is what everything looks like unfiltered. And you can see I have a couple of extra tables here that I use as well. So that's my podcast planner. That's how I'm using it. But again, you have access to the shared one, so I recommend you take it and run with it. There's also the Notion base if you prefer Notion or Google Sheets. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to further elaborate or add more context around the walkthrough.